So, hi everyone. I'm ready to get into episode 15 titled Us. How appropriate because the last episode that we did was Rick, Michonne, and Carl becoming a family, with Rick claiming Michonne for Carl, but also for himself. And doing it in a way where he accepted that Michonne, so he believes, does not reciprocate his feelings. So he is accepted that this family that he's formed will be a platonic one. But although platonic, the love is very real for Rick and Carl, of course. Carl is literally Rick's heart. Then the bond and growing love between Michonne and Carl is very real. And as Rick said, that Carl needs Michonne. And then the respect and bond between Rick and Michonne is also growing. And the love is there. The familial love is there. And we know from prior episodes, the romantic love is there on Rick's side. We've not been given an insight yet into how Michonne feels about Rick in that regard. We do know she respects him. We do know that she loves him familially. He's family now to her. But we do know she is attracted because that push and pull that I keep describing was not a one-way street. They were butting heads and they were like circling each other. Just as Rick saw how attractive Michonne is, Michonne sees how attractive Rick is. So I wouldn't say it's far-fetched to say that she is also attracted to him. We do know that she is oblivious to the nature of Rick's feelings towards her. So that's where we are in that story. And they had found a place, and I loved that they were in a home and they were going to settle there for a while. But Joe and his goons showed up and they had a lucky escape. Then the following episode was Alone, and it focused on Bob and Sasha and Maggie. I didn't watch it. I just skimmed through it because I didn't remember exactly what the episode was about. At the end of it, I saw Daryl, and I watched that small part where Joe and his gang came across Daryl sitting despondent in the middle of the road. So I'm guessing that he lost Beth along the way and was becoming hopeless. He was despairing. He was surrounded by Joe and his gang, and Daryl punched Joe and aimed his bow and arrow at him, and it was a standoff. It was like, your guys are not gonna shoot me before I shoot you. So one of us is gonna die, or both of us are gonna die. I guess Joe respected his fight, and Joe introduced himself to Daryl, and Daryl put his weapon down, and there was a silent agreement, and I think Daryl is going to join their group. So that's where that was. And then the next episode was The Grove, and this was with Carol, Tyrese, and Lizzie and Mika and Judith. They found a little cottage. I did watch some parts of it. I don't know, I just love these homes for them. I always wish that things work out once they find it, because it was perfect. They could plant food. They had food. I think they were eating pecans, and Mika said peach. I didn't watch all of it, but they were pretty comfortable. They were like a little family. They were happy there, comfortable and safe. The deer kept showing up. Oh, something just occurred to me. Whenever a deer shows up on The Walking Dead, something is not far behind. Someone gets shot. Is that always the case? Well, maybe not. Someone always gets shots, but trouble follows. So if you're in the apocalypse and you see a deer, keep your head on a swivel because trouble is near. So Mika's condition reared its head, and their idyllic peace came to an end because Lizzie, thinking that the walkers are viable human beings, sought to prove it by killing her little sister Mika. And Tyrese and Carol had to face that horror. What do they do with Lizzie? And Carol killed Lizzie because she said that Lizzie couldn't be around other people. This is who she was. She was never going to change. She had offered to stay with her, that Tyrese and Judith could go, but possibility of Tyrese surviving with Judith alone, the odds are against them. So I guess Carol took it upon herself that she has to put down Lizzie. And after that sad and gruesome act was done, Carol confessed to Tyrese that she killed Karen. And of course, Tyrese was horrified. I think at one point tempted to retaliate against Carol, but he ended up accepting it's done and there's nothing that he could do about it, and killing Carol wouldn't change anything. It wouldn't bring Karen back. So he did the next best thing that he could do, decided to forgive her. But he let her know that he would not forget. Carol, burdened with guilt because she had come to the point where she was holding in the truth, keeping that secret from him, seemed to be a heavy burden on her. Getting it out in the open, confessing to him, and him coming to the point of forgiving her, lifted a very heavy burden off her shoulders. And I was glad to see her remorse. Being around Tyrese and getting to know him, and him letting her know how much he appreciated her and trusted her, I think and I hope gave her some empathy towards him, because I think she killed Karen and David because she didn't know them. She didn't care about them because she didn't know them and they weren't important to her. But being forced to be around Tyrese humanized them in a way. I hope to her. In the episode, you did get to see her have some remorse. At least she was sorry that Tyrese was hurting. I don't know if she'd learned to have empathy towards Karen and David. It was a very good episode. It was a sad episode. But the question I want to ask you is, do you think Carol killing Lizzie was the right thing to do? Was there another way? Do you think that there's another way that they could handle the situation with Lizzie? At first, when Tyrese and Carol were out in the yard talking, I was like, why aren't their eyes on Lizzie, Mika, and the baby? Regardless of knowing that Mika is capable, they know that Lizzie was a little bit off. Still wasn't understanding the whole thing about the walkers, because remember, she was playing with one in the yard. So from that, I think the key was to keep an eye on her, always have her around and keep an eye on her, and to leave Judith in her company and for Mika to be the supervising eye. That to me was the first mistake. I was just like, no, the two of you cannot be off together. It's one of you has to be around supervising these kids at all times. That was the key. And when tragedy happened, when Lizzie killed Mika, I don't think the solution should be that Lizzie was killed. I think the same thing that should have been applied should be applied, in that they would just have to keep an eye on her always. That's it. You couldn't leave the baby around with her. Somebody had to sleep with the baby and lock whatever room Lizzie was in, that she would be, it had to be locked. She couldn't have any weapons. Lock the door and put a chair there to block her from coming out during the night, because she was saying, she can't have her under the roof with Judith. But there are ways. With how the world is, constant danger, eventually Lizzie may not have made it, but I don't think it was their place to kill her. Take her along with them as long as they could. She just needed to be supervised. And if there came a point where they could not supervise her, like they're overrun or whatever, or they're in danger and have to run and whatever. If it's out of their control, it's out of their hands, then that's what it is. Because even with capable adults, things got out of hand. Things happen out of their control. That's my opinion, that I don't think the solution was to kill Lizzie. But I want to know, what do you think was the right thing to do? I've shared what I would have done. Now I want to know what you would have done. And I can't wait to read your guys' take. And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong take. And I can say that because I'm removed from the situation, but I hope that's the choice that I would make. but I would love to hear what you think. I would love to hear what you would do in that situation. And now we're on to episode 15, titled Us. Michonne is claimed and the three have become a unit, us. And that's how Rick, the protagonist of our story, sees this unit that he has made as us. Rick, Carl, and Michonne, they're us. And remember I told you in the reaction for claim that you're going to see this unit, Rick's family, Rick's claimed family, always together, always as a unit. That's their modus operandus from now on. Okay, let's get into it. I've talked enough.
Bananas.
I thought I was going to see Rick, Carla, Michonne, but I saw the train tracks. But there's Eugene yapping away. Okay, yap away, Eugene. I had forgotten about this group.
Go to sleep. I got this.
No offense, but I'm not leaving Eugene's life in your hands. We'll move north with you till I found the right vehicle just off the tracks. Then
who is sleeping on the tracks? What a place to sleep. Well, no trains are operating, so I guess they're safe.
If you help me find the supplies, we'll share the battery and whatever juice we scare up, minimal as it may be.
We're spending too much time on this group. Glenn, go to Terminus, Maggie, Sasha, Bob. That was smart of them. He's happy she's alive. Where's Rick? This is Joe's group. Oh, gross.
I got it.
That is so gnarly.
It's like that Robin Hood cat cut out on us after all. Dude left his stuff here, probably just stepped out to drop a morning deuce. I think we got about a day's worth of water
Rick!
left. Lucky it's cooled off a little bit, but... What are you doing?
Winning a bet in your dreams. I'm still on.
You spoke too soon, wise guy.
Might go on a while. Maybe we can speed this up.
Yeah, you're right. Shouldn't be fooling around. We should probably call.
I win. Pay up.
Pay up, Michonne. Look at Rick's smile. Oh my gosh.
Is that really the last big cat?
Oh, come on.
Winner's choice.
Go ahead, take it. It's yours. You won it. Fair and square.
Come on, we always
shared
share.
with her. Oh, he said we always share. Just see how Rick looked at both of them. His loves.
Catch me some breakfast.
Oh, it's mine.
Just lost yourself a piece of tail. Was it one of the little ones? They don't last too long out here.
He's disgusting.
You claim it? Hell yeah. Well, there you go. That critter belongs to Lynn. All you gotta do is claim. That's how you mark your territory, your prey, your bed at night. One word, claim. Easy there, partner. Claim. That's all you gotta say.
You know, Daryl, from what that guy said to him, that Daryl was moping because he probably lost he used a very derogatory name, but he meant he lost his woman. But what he said afterwards, Daryl should know, okay, these dudes are not people he should be around. That was disgusting and showed exactly the character of that dude. Daryl should want no part of him and them. Yeah, reiterating that you cannot survive on your own. Michonne survived on her own for a very long time. So, and Daryl can survive on his own. So I don't think he needs those dudes. He should just go off because they are disgusting. Oh, back to Glenn and his merry band. Why is Tara always tripping over her feet?
So what's the plan, Daryl?
How so?
Oh, you're with us now, but you ain't soon?
Yeah.
You know you need a group out here.
Maybe I don't.
No, you do. You should be with us.
Don't listen to them, Daryl. Go out on your own. Please.
Ain't no us.
You leaving right now? No? Sure seems like there's an us.
So Joe is claiming Daryl as a part of the group and saying, that's us. I was giving the meaning for us for Rick, Carla, Michonne, but Joe is saying, Daryl, you're part of us. Leave, Daryl. Follow your first instincts. Ugh.
Ain't nothing sadder than an outdoor cat thinks he's an indoor cat.
He's calling you an outdoor cat, Daryl. Look at Eugene. Having these people protect him. Oh, Lord. Glenn, go to Terminus. Maggie, Bob, Sasha.
We're gaining on him. Still wet.
You sure as Shanola can't go up and over.
Paint or whatever that she's using is still wet.
So this is where we gotta part ways.
Yeah. How do you know she went through the tunnel?
Numb. All day long, just numb.
She's hobbling and you're going through that tunnel. It's ridiculous, Glenn.
My sister, she was surrounded, pounced on me. I saw it happen. Still, it wasn't as bad as seeing what he did to Maggie's father.
Oh, I totally had forgotten about her sister. And at the end, when Michonne killed the governor, I'd wondered then what happened to the sister. So she was swarmed and taken out by walkers. I wonder if this is the first that Glenn is hearing that Herschel was killed, or did Tara tell him before? I don't remember. He seemed shocked when she mentioned Herschel being beheaded. If she had told him before, please let me know, because I don't remember. So now you see that Maggie wouldn't have come through here, Glenn. So go back and go around. Stupid. Oh, look at that walker. Oh my gosh. Help her, Glenn. Oh.
Turn left up here.
This is the third left turn you've made me make in the last 5 minutes.
He's going back.
Why the hell we stopped? If I made it out of that tunnel, they'd be somewhere around here.
You're kidding me, right?
What's your problem?
Stop! You never stop! If you know the rules never stop and you stop. Guys! Get over the rules! Guys! What?
Daryl says he didn't take your half of the rabbit, so we got a little conundrum here. Either he's lying, which is an actionable offense, or you didn't plan it on him like some pussy, punk-ass, cheating, coward cop, did you?
I didn't.
Good. Well, I saw him do it.
Why'd you try to stop him?
He wanted to play that out, I let him. You told the truth. He lied. You understand the rules.
No.
Interesting. This reunion didn't move me at all. I'm glad they found each other, but I'm sure it's supposed to be some heart-rending moment, and I'm just glad it's over with because Glenn was getting on my nerves. Everything is, oh, Maggie, 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 and just he was just too much tunnel vision. I understand wanting to find her and everything, but it was getting a bit annoying. Glad that's over with. Can we get back to Rick and Michonne? I'm like, for some reason I thought this episode would be mostly about them. No, but it was about Eugene and Glenn and all this stuff, and then Daryl with Joe and his group. Tara is stuck. Will someone help her? And I'm no Tara fan, yet I could be a little less self-involved and think about her. Says a lot.
What's up?
He just said
What?
that he
What's
knows
that
what caused
about?
the outbreak.
Oh, Eugene and his nonsense.
He tells me I'm wrong. I listen.
Eugene has Abraham by the balls. Joe and Daryl and I guess I'm not gonna see Rick and Michonne and Carl in this episode. And they killed him?
I'll tell you what it is, it's a lie. Ain't no sanctuary for all. Ain't gonna welcome guys like you and me with open arms.
So is that where we're headed?
So now you're asking?
That's right.
We were in a house, minding our own business, and this walking piece of fecal matter was hiding in the home. Strangled our colleague Lou and left him to turn. Lou came at all us. He lit out. We tracked him to these tracks, one of those signs, and thus we got a destination in mind.
See his face?
Only Tony. That's enough for a reckoning.
Oh yeah, that was a guy that saw Rick. So it's interesting that Joe is not interested in going to Terminus. He said it's a lie. So he's the only one that sussed it out. Say, they're not going to welcome guys like us. It's not for all. But in looking for Rick, Tony saw Rick, so they know who they're looking for. They've been tracking him, and they think Rick is following the signs to Terminus. So that's why they're following the signs to Terminus. Not that they want to they have no intention of seeking refuge at Terminus. So it's pretty interesting revelation there.
Quiet.
What is that? Is that strawberry? Ooh, the candy wrapper that Michonne and Carl shared. Another note. So it seems to be an old habit that, at least with Michonne, leaving wrappers of whatever she eats behind, because her being tracked that way is going to happen again. And Rick is guilty too. Not just Michonne, it was Michonne and Carl eating the candy and leaving the wrapper behind. As a matter of fact, Carl had the wrapper. So that Carl got his litter ways from Rick, and Michonne and Rick didn't curb that bad habit, and it will get them in trouble here, and it will get them in trouble again in the future. So they've arrived at Terminus. Lower, I can't read it. Lower your weapons. You will be met. You have arrived at Terminus. So instead of planting food, you're planting flowers. Is that a barbecue?
Hi, I'm Mary. Looks like you've been on the road a while.
We have.
Let's get you settled and we'll make you a plate. Welcome to Terminus.
Okay, what a bait and switch. We just got one scene with Rick and Michonne and Carl. It was a great scene, a beautiful scene. Carl and Michonne playing together and laughing and sharing, and Rick just basking in joy, just watching them, watching their joy. Rick was just, it was just a pure, unadulterated smile. The way he looked at them, you could see these two are precious to him, and he loved seeing them this way. They were happy. The three of them, very happy together. They have nothing but a couple of candy bars and each other. And they were happy. They were us. Life can be like that. Life can be like that for all of us. We stress and we worry because we're striving to attain things that don't really matter in the long run. At that moment, they're living in today. They have each other. They are with each other, and they were happy. They were content in that moment. And if we live life that way, being in the moment, living in the moment, and being content with our needs being met, and we have each other, which is the most important thing. That's one of the greatest blessings of life. In that pure moment, the best part of the episode, the only part of the episode, Rick's little family is shown. It had the greatest lesson. It had the greatest impact. I didn't get what I thought I would be getting, Rick and Michonne, in this episode. I may just go on to the next episode of The Walking Dead. It's now 1:34 a.m. so I wouldn't be able to do 2 episodes of Adolescence, so I'll just do the next episode of The Walking Dead and leave Adolescence for another day. Let's see what episode 16 holds.